Welcome to Basketball Heads Live. I'm your host, Glenn Pooh Harding. And tonight, we have a very special guest. This basketball head was a student of the legendary coach Gil Reynolds, who coached some of the most legendary ball players in Brooklyn. As a star at George Westinghouse High School, he was second team All-City and first team All-Brooklyn in 1983 and 84. This basketball head was a prototype for student athletes. Good grades, great person, and he could hoop. He then went on to become a legend at Wright State University, averaging 16 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists a game. Help me welcome to the show, Joe Jackson.
Y'all ready? Yeah. You have just stepped into the world of chaos, where everybody goes hard. Come on. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Or go home. Never back down. You gotta hold your own. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. Go hard. East Coast. Go hard. West Coast. Go hard. Midwest. Go hard. Dirty. Hurry up, everybody. Get online, buy your tickets, cause the game about to start.
All right, I'm here now. I don't know who the hell.
I'm like, damn, Joe, you cooking? What you doing? You showed me rims and shit.
I kept going, yo, that ain't me. Then I saw it was Mr. Crossland. I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. Oh man, that's my guy. He's a big supporter of the show. But I'm glad I got you here, brother.
All right, thanks for having me.
Yo, Pat, that's crazy, right? He had me all in the kitchen and shit. I'm
like, damn, that ain't me at all.
Right, and when I scrolled down and I saw it, you said, what did you? And I got him out of there. All right, let's start this right.
All right.
Yeah, I didn't bother to look down at the comments, E, but we here now. All right, man. First question of the show.
Yep.
Who introduced you to the game?
Who introduced me to the game was my uncle when I was 7. One of my mother's brothers put a ball in my hand. You know, my dad played way back in the South, and it wasn't until I was like 9 or 10 when I went to Our Lady of Victory with everybody else, you know, and harnessed my skills. Me, John, Devil Dog, Ice, James Majors, Brian Royal, Trevor Davis, Leroy Greenwich, Gerald Green, Mike Burrell. I mean, Victory was a starting ground for a lot of us.
Woo. Oh yeah, definitely. I remember starting there myself, there and Claver. But just imagine if you guys all stayed together.
Oh, it'd have been unreal, man. It'd have been unreal. But you know, Bob Brathwaite was the coach, and you know, he just recently passed away. So you know, God bless his soul.
Yes.
But you know, hey, he had a franchise, man. We were some of the best players in the city at that time. Well, they were. You know, I was just in their shadows.
So you grew up in the Style?
Yep, right on Jefferson between Reed and Stuyvesant. It's the Malcolm X now, but Reed and Stuyvesant.
Reed. Whoa. So definitely you go back. You definitely do it down best side. For sure. So at that time, who was the best player in best side at that time?
Man, we
talking about the older guys too.
We had so many, but back then, you know, one of the best players that I had seen at that time was DeVere that come out of your projects.
Wow.
You know, DeVere and Lil Vaughn. But right around the 309, right around in that area, you know, it was Warren Shears that took me on his wing, Scott Allen, Eric McCoy, Ty Whitehead that played at Dwayne McMillan that played at FDR. William Blunt that played at the high, Billy Ice Smullen, Isaiah
Wow.
Walker Cleckley that played at Erasmus. So, I had a group of people that helped me come along.
That's awesome. Dwayne McMillan, Todd Whitehead, all of those guys. I remember coming up as well, and them giving me some nice tips coming up to help me stay focused. So salute to those guys for sure. So where did you play junior high school ball at?
I played at IS 324.
You a neighborhood guy for real. Like, stay in the neighborhood. 324. What was Mr. Mickens the principal there?
No, he wasn't. Mr.
Okay.
Johnson. Mr. Johnson was the principal there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I stayed in the neighborhood. I went to 309 in public school.
Right.
Went to IS 324 for junior high school, and then I went downtown to Westinghouse.
Yeah, man. That's dope. That's dope. And that's when things started to develop then. I remember going up to 309 Park. Well, I just remember the guys from around the way saying, listen, if you want to get your fundamentals straight, you go up to 309 Park and Gil Reynolds be holding workouts. I remember going up there, man, you, Gary Shears, Dwayne Carswell, and a few other guys. But I just remember you guys, you and Gary being the model, right? So whatever we wanted to do, we had to kind of watch you guys. And Coach made sure that. And that always stuck with me, always to this day. You two guys. That's why I thought you guys went to high school together.
No. We grew up.
Right.
We grew up.
Right.
I mean, we both went to 309. We both went to 324. He went to Tilden, and I went to Westinghouse.
Cool. Yo, Headzz, good to see you, my brother. Love you, man. Good to see you, man.
Tell
my
Headzz,
guy.
thanks for joining, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Glad to see him back, man. So how did you get introduced to Gil? Coach Gil Reynolds.
Well, he, like I said, I was already playing at Victory with Bob, and once as you got older, you eventually graduated to Vanguard. And I remember at Victory, he was holding a practice, and we was doing a drill, and when we had to dribble from one end of the court to the other end of the court, and I learned how to play the game with my back to the basket. So facing the basket was null and void for me. So I'll never forget, me and John was doing the drill, and as I'm dribbling down the court with my back to the back. I'm backing down all the way out. So he's like, wait, son, what are you doing? He's like, how could you see what's going on in front of you with your back to everybody? And from that point on, I had to learn to face the basket.
Wow, that's crazy. Listen, I remember a time when Dwayne Carswell was doing a drill where he had to jump up and touch the rim, right? And Coach it was like newspapers wrapped up. And he was popping them on the back of his leg to get him to jump higher. Yo, and I was just sitting there going, damn, you already heard the rumors, right?
You heard the rumors.
He'll smack out of you, right? Until you go get your daddy, right? And the whole time tightening the watch on his wrist is just like, how you that diesel? You that old? And you just tightening the.
Yeah. But
Salute Coach, man. A blessing.
I was one of the few players, I would say, that never got the clipboard, that never got yanked up, because I always listened to what he told me to do. If he told me to run through the wall, I was running through that wall.
Yes.
So, but he taught a lot of us, especially me, taught a lot of us about basketball and about life. So everything he taught us on the basketball court applied to us in our everyday life. And, I'm always grateful for him. And, whatever I accomplished in my basketball career always goes back to him.
That's right. Salute Coach Gil Reynolds, rest in peace. That's right. Again, man, I just want to, give you your crown. I know G is on here too. But like for a young cat like me coming up, wanting to play the game, I looked at certain guys who kept their nose clean and stayed out of trouble and did the right thing and treated people right. And you two guys were on my list, right?
Well,
Especially for my immediate neighborhood. We had the guys who were good, but they got into other things. Learning how to conduct myself by watching you guys and you guys being a model, man. I just want to say thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate it. And my mother had a lot to do with that as well because, I like to play basketball, but if I wasn't doing right in school, she didn't care who was doing what.
That's
I wasn't playing.
That's right.
If my grades started to slip, I wasn't playing. So, that's when, I focused more on my education, and I'll be the first to tell you, I was never the most talented person that I ever put on my team. There was always somebody that did something better than me, whether they had a better jump shot, whether they dribbled better than me, whether they jumped higher than me.
Right? The guy with the heart. Not saying that my other guys didn't have heart, but that glue. So I understand what you're saying, Joe. Trust me.
Yeah, I always played with passion. I mean, I left the game on the court every time I stepped on it. I left it on the court.
Wow. Who's this? Cho Train said Joe went to the semifinals against the Broncos against Mark Jackson. I remember that. Wow.
Yeah, well, that was solely because we had John on the team. Listen, I'm here to tell you, like all the players that I've named and all the players that came through victory. Like I said, we all went on to do different things, but I would probably say that I was the one that cared the least about basketball because I was into my books. I was probably the nerd out the bunch. I was into my books.
Look, bro, the way you carried yourself, right? Studious dude, I'm telling you, fam, like being a few years behind you guys, you watch the way you guys dress, how you conduct yourself, and there's a few guys that I watched along my way. So definitely, man. Now listen, Hassan was on the show. Jared was on the show.
Yeah.
Still waiting for Keith, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Hassan would be hitting me up early on before he came to the show like, gee, I gotta explain to you why we was always hitting those bumps in the road. Meaning Westinghouse. You guys had a lot of talent. Always had a lot of talent. But somehow you always hit that bump in the road. Mm-hmm. Now Hassan told me that you guys really didn't practice much.
Well, they didn't. Back then, we did, because Turk was a little younger then. Turk was a lot younger then. So we did practice, and we did have plays, and we did do drills. So, we did. Now, as the years went on, as he got older, they probably didn't, but when I was coming through there, we did.
Okay. Gary just mentioned Keith Hardy.
Oh, I totally forgot my man Keith Hardy. My bad, Keith.
Don't worry about it. So, when you was at Westinghouse, who was in your team?
When I first got there, it was as a sophomore. Well, my freshman year, Derek Powell was the man. Derek Powell was the man, and he saw me playing in the gym one day, open rec, and I guess they were on their way to a game, and he came in, he pulled me to the side, asked me a bunch of questions, and I said, yo, I'm a ninth grader, so he's like, yo, you need to be playing varsity. And I'm like, like I said, when I got to Westinghouse, playing varsity was the least of my intentions because honestly, I didn't think I didn't think I was good enough to play varsity or make a high school team. Because when I was choosing high schools, I took the test for Westinghouse, Brooklyn Tech, and Stuyvesant. And I passed the test for all of them, and I wanted to go to Stuyvesant. But the only reason I went to Westinghouse because, my boys in the neighborhood, a couple of people on my block was going there. So they're like, yo, you can go there, you can play, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yeah, all right, whatever. But then when I played this, when I tried out my sophomore year, we had people like Dow Coaxum, Ron Savage, Craig Holiday, Joe Johnson, Jamie Odom, Derek Williams, Leroy Richardson, who happens to be an NBA ref right now. So John Patterson. So I had a lot of guys that to play, and I became the sixth man as a sophomore.
Wow. So when did you start to come into your own?
That sophomore year, my first year on varsity, when I made the team. When I made the team and going through practices, and I remember a couple of guys after practice we're in the locker room and they're looking at me like, yo, you sure you just a sophomore? And I'm like, yeah, what you want me to tell you? Yeah. And it went from there.
So when did you, start to make a name for yourself?
My junior year when it was me and Craig Holiday, Gael Dibra. I was the Robin to Craig's Batman, and that's when I started making my name. But again, I still at that time, to me, I was just playing the game of basketball. The recognition started to come, but I really didn't get into it.
Got you. What year was you in high school?
From 80 to 84.
Got you. My guy Joe from Boston, he's always on the check-in. My man, he's a basketball historian for Boston, right? So he's dope. He know a little bit of something about you, and he want to know what year you went to high school. So moving on. Some of the top guys that ever came out of New York City that we looked up to came up in your era. Tell me about some of the guys in that article that you sent me, right? Now, New York doesn't even do this anymore.
Right.
You sent me an article where they had all divisions for the whole city.
Right.
That would never happen again. Right? Even when we came out, it was just like all Brooklyn, all city. But they didn't do like all division for every borough.
For the whole city, yeah.
That was amazing. And you got this, it kind of let everyone shine.
Yeah.
Right?
That was my junior year.
Got you.
That was my junior year.
Special year.
And during that time, like everybody else that came before me, like that talked to you, we had Pearl, Elma, Silk, Spice, Bug-Eye, Gary, Sleepy. There was never a night off, a game off. I'm telling you. And playing the two guard, there was never. I've guarded just about every guard in the city during that time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Who was your main competition back then?
Bug, Ed Davender.
I'm gonna get right, because we're gonna have to salute my guy Ed Davender too, man. Facts. R.I.P., man.
Yeah. Ed Davender. For some reason, we had this dislike for each other, but when you look at it as you got older, it was a mutual respect. But Bug, he got under my skin and I got under his.
So give me a scenario. Give me one game where you played against him and how did it go?
Well, the last game we played against each other was in the playoffs. We was playing We was playing to get to you guys. Matter of fact, we was playing to get to Lincoln, and we, we were winning. And Gerald talked about this game. We were winning, and I grabbed the rebound, and Trevor Davis fouled the crap out of me, but they didn't call it. I lost the ball. They laid it up, and then a couple of plays went down, and then we wound up losing by 1. But if we would have won that game, then my next meeting would have been with Silk in Lincoln.
Listen, that would have been crazy. First of all, and it's not, look, if we don't lose that game versus the I, and I want to rest in peace to Robert Gilmore, who hit that last pick shot, because our whole starting 5 went to try to block Bug-Out shot. If we win that game, we win the whole state. It changes everything.
I don't know now. I don't know. Because that next game was against Truman and Rod. That next game was against Truman and Rod. I don't know.
I get you. I'm saying this. I'm saying this because our front court would have held it down, and I think that would have been the difference. Listen, and I also seen Silk give Rod the business in the Wheelchair Classic game when he got MVP.
Okay.
When he scored like 13 points in like a minute and like 13 seconds, 12 seconds. I was there. I watched it.
Yeah.
He gave all the guards in the city the business that night.
Yeah.
Spice, give me a thumbs up because you was playing too, Spice.
And you know what's funny? Boo? In '84, our senior year, the first team all city was Rod, Silk, Eric Johnson, Doug Harris, and Bug.
Wow.
I played against all of them that year except for Rod. I had to guard all of them that year except for Rod, and it was just crazy. So New York City in the '80s, I tell anybody, was the mecca of basketball. We had the best players in the world in the '80s.
Oh, for sure. I see Eric talking jump. Yo, E, let me tell you something. We had Damari Riddick, Kenny Parker.
How is my man Damari?
Damari's doing well. He'll be on the show soon. He's doing well. Living up in Jersey.
What about Woodbury? What about Darren?
Darren, who I haven't spoken to Darren in a while. Yo, Spice, let us know what's up with D. Please, we'll talk afterwards. Let me tell you something. Another underrated player, Darren Woodbury. If he had the right push, could have went and played anywhere. Trust me. D was a problem. But of course, me being younger, I remember seeing your name on the scout report. I remember seeing who were the guys in the city that are in Brooklyn that if we came across, we was gonna have to stop. I was on the bench, but I still remember. Especially at that time.
Yeah, I mean, it was, like I said, during that time, man, I just played the game to play. I honestly didn't think I was that good, but, it is what it is. Basketball got me a free education. That's what I look at it.
Darren Woodbury went to Wright State?
Not while I was there.
Yeah. You said Darren, another Wright State player. Yo, Scar, we gonna have to talk about that because I never heard that.
No.
I thought Darren kind of got derailed like Bernard Mitchell, another great from Lincoln.
Now Dorian Baldwin from Aham, he was recruited by Wright State with me, but then had a accident that allowed him to then go somewhere else. But Tyrone Joy, I just see Tyrone Joy that was the starting point guard for Truman that year, was my roommate. He went to Wright State with me.
Oh, okay. So that's what it was. Yes.
Tyrone Joy. That's my brother for life.
Yeah. Yo, Gary, we beat Arnold Bernard A-Train in Glen Falls in '86 when he was with Al Xavier Lutheran, him and Dwayne Ivory. Salute my guy A-Train. Definitely a problem. So now, Joe, come to the part of the show. where we're playing against other guys who got names from different boroughs, maybe from the same borough. You trying to get your name up. You know you're ready for college. Your grades are straight. You're already college ready. What was that defining game? And who asked did you bust to let you know I'm ready for the big boys?
Oh, wow. I don't know, man. I can't, you know what? I honestly can't pin it down to one game simply because I was a role player. You know, everything I did was in the confines of the team concept. So as the team went, I went. I went, the team went. So there was no one defining game because I had a lot of good games. Some people may say I had a lot of great games, but everything I did was team oriented. So I can't say that there was just one defining game, but I knew that when I was a sophomore and I was a sixth man, I knew I was ready then.
Gary said it was tilted. It was the tilting game.
He would say that. He would say that. I mean, they came to Westinghouse. They came to Westinghouse and they got us. But it was an epic game. It was an epic game. It was a game that went down to the wire, and we shared the division that year.
And how did you fare?
Oh, I gave him 20-something.
Okay. Well, look, Gary's on here. You know Gary gonna talk shit. Yeah, right? So you already know Gary gonna talk shit all day, right?
See, I was the type of player. I would never talk crap. I would just go play the game. And I was one of those dudes that when people looked at me, they'd be like, he can't do nothing. But at the end of the game, they look at the box scores. I don't give you 20, 25, sometimes 30. I was never that guy that talked crap. I just went out and played.
Yeah, and I'll definitely accept that answer for you. I usually drill guys with that question. But knowing you and seeing you come up and watching you play, you were definitely that kind of player, for sure. So besides Wright State, who was recruiting you?
There was Monmouth, St. Pete, Boston College, Richmond, UMass, Tennessee State, Vanderbilt solely on my academics.
Okay.
But that nothing major. All the SUNY schools.
Okay, cool. Number one, Cho Train said, Joe, I played with you. Shorty's got some love. I played midgets with Gil. I played with Jeff Legree. Yeah. And we went to the citywide finals against Mark Jackson, Glenn Daniels, and the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's that same game, huh?
Yeah.
Guys don't forget, man. Those
but like I told you, man, like I said, I was fortunate enough to play against some of the best guards in the city, but I also was fortunate enough to play with some of the best guards in the city. I played with a lot of point guards that really made me look good. Gary was one of them. Glenn Daniels was one of them. John was one of them. But the one and Gerald was definitely one of them. If Gerald don't come to Westinghouse in '84, I'm not second team All City.
Got you.
I'm honorable mention at best. But Gerald coming to Westinghouse made that I'm second team All City. But the one dude that I played with, that I cherished playing with him the most, was a little dude out of Brownsville who was barely 6 feet, 80 pounds soaking wet, and his name is Jeff Legree. That was the toughest little dude that Gil brought to us that I ever played with.
Wow. Salute Jeff Legree.
Yeah, and then when we got to college, I played with, Tyrone Joy that played at Truman with Rod.
Wow.
So I've had the pleasure of playing with a lot of great point guards and guarding some of the best guards New York City had to offer.
Oh my God, House of Pain said, ask him about the night we made Ross Strickland miss curfew when he came to play in Dayton.
Well, when Rod was at DePaul, whenever he would come to Dayton to play University of Dayton, he'd get us tickets and whatnot to the game. But one particular time they came to Dayton, he came over to Wright State to hang out with us, and he was supposed to be back at the hotel at a certain time, but we had a frat party on campus, and he wound up hanging out with us half the night and missed curfew.
Wow. How was your time at Wright State?
It was good, man. It was good. I can't complain because I met dudes and played with dudes that till this day I still keep in touch with. It was a little shaky in the beginning because my first year, I felt I should have been starting, but the coach had a rule about playing freshmen, and Tyrone was already starting, so he wasn't playing two freshmen. So I was gonna leave. Coach Gil had lined me up, with some schools, and I was gonna break out. But then Tyrone and another one of my teammates talked me into staying, so I wound up staying. And then the summer after my freshman year, right before my sophomore year, we took a European trip, and I came home, worked out with Gil. He put me through some vigorous workouts. And he said, he told me, he said, when you come back, you better be the starting. He said, you better be the starting guard. And I went to Europe and did my thing. And believe me, when I came back, my sophomore year in college, I was starting.
That's that lucky sophomore year, man, right?
Yeah.
Same thing high school.
Yeah.
Wow. So what did he go in there teach you at the end of the day?
First of all, it taught me diversity, because when I say that is because that was the first time that I was around a lot of white people.
Got you.
That accepted me for playing, and we got to learn about each other and whatnot, and and I brought some of my upbringing to the university, and to let them know that all black people ain't what they read about, especially New York people.
Right.
All New Yorkers ain't what you read and what you read about and what you see on TV.
That's real. That's real. So how did you guys do? Did you guys make any tournaments? When you was there?
Wright State had won the Division II national championship 2 years before I got there. By them winning the national championship, that opened up them to broadening their recruiting horizons. I was the first player that they recruited and got signed from New York City.
Wow.
And then Ty came with me that same year. But they first heard of me in the Golden Hoops tournament. I was playing in the Golden Hoops, and a scout by the name of Don Capron. I got hurt that game, but after the game, he came in the locker room and was talking to me and Dorian, and got our information. The next thing I know, I started getting calls and stuff in the mail from all these colleges and whatnot. And, like John, I was watching John, and he told you he took one visit. That was UVA. Wright State, I took one visit. That was my only visit. And when I came back, I was like, yo, that's where I'm going, because, they showed me such a good time. And at the time, all student athletes on campus lived in 2-bedroom apartments. So, it was like no dorm life for me. We got a living room, bathroom, kitchen. I got my own room. My roommate got his own room. So that was, that was cool to me. But I do remember after I signed, I made them send me 3 letters of intent. And because anytime I got a letter of intent, I would say that I didn't get it. And I knew they knew I got it because we had to sign for it.
Right, right,
I
right.
would say I didn't get it because Monmouth in Jersey, Monmouth College was on me hard, and they were pissed when they found out that I had signed with Wright Stare. And Coach Gil was pissed too because I made that decision because I was like, this is my decision and it's mine alone to make. I understand you guys, wanna see me do well, want me to do what you want me, but no, this is where I want to go, and I'm glad I made that decision.
You going there was the first time I ever heard of Wright Stare.
Really?
Fact. This is way back then when you first had, they started, putting out that you were going there. I was like, Wright Stare?
Yeah, it was a Division II school.
Right.
Division II
Right.
school, and like I said, they won the Division II national championship 2 years before I got there. My sophomore, again, here's another one. My sophomore year, going into the tournament, we was the #1 team in the country, and we lost to Cheney State in the semifinals.
Wow.
We lost to Cheney State to get us to the Final Four.
Wow. Who was the coach then? Was Cheney the coach then?
No, Ralph Underhill.
Okay, got you.
Ralph
Got
Underhill
you.
was the coach.
Got you. Gary wanted to know what fraternity were you in?
I'm
Or
not.
are you in?
I'm not in one. I never did join one.
Yeah, same here. Ball, five, ball. That's
Never did
it.
join one.
For sure.
Oh,
So now, right?
I see Haas is asking, did Hirsch try to push me anywhere? Yeah, Haas. He was another one that was upset when I went to Wright Stare because he was like, I can get you. He was another one. He was pushing Seton Hall on me as well. He was pushing
Wow.
Seton Hall on me as well. But yeah, Hirsch was really upset when he found out I was going to Wright Stare.
Let me tell you something. All props go to Hirsch, right? I don't have one bad word to say about that man. That man exposed me to a lot of things in basketball, took me a lot of places, met a lot of people playing with Hirsch. One of the craziest things is, and Haas can vouch for this, after we would finish playing, we would go like to Chinatown or to like Little Italy and go to these restaurants, right? And we'll be sweating, having bags, sneakers, whatever, just looking like we just came from playing ball. And these people in the restaurant would create space for us. They would bring tables. You know how they do in the movies?
Yeah.
And I'm young and I'm seeing this and I'm like, what the?
Yeah. What
That shit don't happen for me. I'm a grown ass man.
Yeah.
The connection. And him introducing us to Fix. Have you ever met Fix before?
Yeah.
We're not going to talk about him on air, but yeah. Right.
Yeah. But it's funny. Let me tell you the story about Hirsch. He after I signed with Wright Stare, he told me, he says, what are you gonna do? He says, you don't have a left hand. You gotta start facing the basket because when you go to college, you're gonna be a two guard and not a small forward. So, and I'm gonna tell you, Hirsch every day before practice, during practice, and after practice, he made me work on my left hand and my jump shots. And till this day, I am grateful to him for that because he really pushed me and made me work on things because, like I said, I grew up with playing with my back to the basket. I get you on the post, two things gonna happen. You gonna let me score or you gonna foul me.
That's real. So, I spoke to James. Yo, the door. I spoke to James Majors, right? And James, that's my guy. And I keep this as a tribute to James Majors. So this is kind of James Majors' thing. We was talking about mill money, right?
Okay.
I don't know about your situation.
I remember that.
Your guys' situation with mill money in Division II, right?
Okay.
But I know
It had to be more than $5, man.
Well, okay, let me tell you how it was with us. Let me tell you how it was with us. Because I thought that was funny. Now we got $40 a week. We got $40 a week for groceries and whatnot. But when we were on the road, you know, we had the elaborate team pregame meals.
Yeah,
and all that.
everybody did. Yeah.
But after a game, and we taking that bus ride back to Dayton, it was $5. We pull over at a Burger King, a McDonald's, somewhere. So what we would do, some of us we put our money together and we're going to McDonald's or Burger King and get burgers and fries, and then the other half of the crew would go to the gas station and get a 12-pack.
Got you.
So we in the back of the bus. We eating and we drinking. You know.
Okay, so look, I get it. And what years were you in school?
85 to 88.
85 to 88. All right. Yeah, I was okay. All right. Okay. I understand. And you guys were D2, so it's a little bit different as well.
Mm-hmm.
Got you. My guy, House of Pain said, ask him about Uwe runs.
About what?
EV runs?
EV's was a grocery store.
Oh, EV runs. I got you. The store out when you guys went to school.
It was a grocery store when we went to school. So when we got our meal money every Monday, you know, I take 20, Ty take 20, and we'll go to the grocery store and buy up groceries for the week.
Right.
And then, back then it was a real cheap grocery store.
Yo, James said I'm not alone anymore. Yo. Salute my guy Ice. Yo, that's crazy. Well, when we was in school at Fairleigh Dickinson, my guy Stem can vouch for this. We had an 18-hour path mark right up the block.
Mm-hmm.
After 12 o'clock, only 2 people be working in the whole store. One at the cash register and one stock person.
So needless to say.
All right, next question. All right, now. So have you been keeping up with New York City basketball?
I have. Not that, when I was away and when I was living in Atlanta, not as much, but since I've been back, I've been trying to see who's who and what's what.
What's your thought on the game?
They don't play they don't play it like we used to. They don't play
now
it
look,
like we used to.
Now look, hold on. I don't want us to be sitting up here like some old folks and be like, yo, they don't play our music anymore. They don't run out. Like, what is the real deal? What is the real problem that you see in New York City?
There's a lot of guys, there's no teachers.
Gotcha.
There's no coaches teaching the game. New York City still has a lot of talented ball players, but they don't play for the love of the game like we did. Everything is about a quick buck now. I'm gonna be the next this. I'm gonna be the next that. It doesn't help that you got these AAU coaches and these sneaker companies and whatnot, paying these kids under the table and whatnot. So, like I said, I don't knock it. Do what you do. I don't knock it at all. But, for me, that's one of the reasons why I probably have not gotten into coaching, because, I know, I would have somebody's kid up against the wall somewhere trying to talk back at me.
Well, there's different ways to go about it without doing it that way. I think definitely needs to be a lot more of us teaching the next generation. But the gap, right? My guy Pat Alphonse got a podcast called a bridge podcast. And what we gotta do, we gotta build that bridge and meet these guys halfway because they don't know. If you don't know, right? If you don't have your history, right? If you can't go back and chart 5 to 10 years back of some of the greatest ball players of your time, right? They don't have to go back and follow what we're doing right now. This is why the podcast would be good for them to go back and listen to these stories, right? And these lessons. But we got to start bridging the gap in some way, somehow. We just got to, do our part and then let the crumbs fall where they may.
Exactly. I agree.
Yeah. So, who was the best high school player you played against? Best college player? And best pro you played against?
Best high school player, hands down, Pearl Washington. Pearl was the best player that he's the only player that actually embarrassed me on the court. Literally embarrassed me. And I'm gonna tell you what he did. My sophomore year, we playing at the high, a Friday night. I'm in the neighborhood. Got the whole neighborhood in there playing. That's one of the first games my moms and pops came to see me play in high school. Right? So I didn't, like I said, I was a sixth man. So we played a boxing one. And when I come in the game, I got to guard Pearl. Pearl shook me to the floor, went by me, waited for me to get up, get back in front of him, only to do it again.
Wow.
Only to do it again. And then he hit Elmer in the corner, and Elmer hit a jumper in the corner. But that's the only dude that has really embarrassed me on. So he's by far the best high school player I've ever played against. In college, there was a brother by the name of Steven Jackson. He played at Southern Indiana. This dude was about 6'6", can shoot from the parking lot. And I was the type of player, like I said, I never was one to talk crap, but my teammates, they used to ask me, Steven Jackson coming to town, what you gonna do, this and the other, he gonna do this to you, he gonna do that to you.
Situation. Right.
He gonna do this to you, gonna do that. And I'm like, why he doing all this to me? What y'all think I'm gonna be doing? So the first time we played at Wright Stare. We beat him in double overtime. I gave him 29. He gave me 21. We go down to their place. We lost that game by 1. I gave him 21. He gave me 17. So it's like that's the type of player I was. There was a lot of people that thought they can just, by looking at me, that thought they can just come do what they wanted to me. But they, at the end of the night, they knew, they had their hands full.
Wow.
Yeah. And
did you ever get a chance to play against any pros? Did he got that much of the league?
Yeah. I would say that at that time, the best pro player I played. Every New York City ball player that I played with that went to the pros was good. But at the time, I played against Dan Marley.
Wow.
And that dude was a man amongst boys playing when I played against him. It was the year. We were both seniors, so he got drafted that year. And it was, he was by far, that jump shot was unreal. That jump shot was unreal. But I gave him 18 as well.
I hear that. So, how do you stay healthy and in shape these days?
One, I'm not in shape.
I ain't staying in shape enough to play ball, but I got you shape.
But my 2 young kids keep me active. I got an 8-year-old son and a 10-year-old daughter. They're playing soccer. football. You know, they keep me busy.
Got you. And what are you doing now?
Right now, well, a couple of years ago, I retired from Delta Airlines, and now I'm working at JetBlue.
Retire one, cash another one. Smart man.
Exactly.
Just listen. This is why I say, man, you're the prototype student athlete, man. Guys should take notes that one day that game gonna be over, right?
Exactly.
That game gonna be over. You ain't gonna be able to jump and run and dunk and do all the things that you did when you was younger. And you gotta have a way out and keep your sanity.
Exactly.
And worry about what everybody else doing. Because he went to the pros and he went big time D1 and he played here. You stay in your own lane and you carve out your own path.
I was always one to stay in my lane, man. Like I said, basketball to me really was just something to do. I happen to be good at it. Some people, some people tell me I'm better than what I think I was, or than I thought I am. But it was like I said, it was just something to do. And Gary kidded me all the time. He's like, man, you should have got you at least a year or two in the league. And I probably could have if I would have applied myself or worked on stuff. Like I told you earlier, I was never the best player on any team I played on, whether it was in high school, college, or playing in the summer with Gil. There was always somebody that dribbled better than me, somebody that shot better than me, somebody that jumped higher than me, but nobody played with the heart and passion that I played with. So because of that, that's why a lot of people thought I was always the best player on our teams, because I left it on the floor day in and day out.
All right, we're going to come back this last session. I'm going to show you your art piece. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. Come back so you can see your art piece, man.
I appreciate it.
Joe Jackson, y'all. Joe Jackson, Westinghouse and Wright Stare great.
All right.
You just be having fun with this shit, yo. This shit is hard, right, yo. All right.
Wow.
Right? You don't have to be the best player.
Wow.
Get this right here, brother.
I appreciate that, my dude.
You just have to make an impact in New York. And that's what you did, my brother.
I appreciate that.
Salute my guy.
Yo, I'm telling you, your artist is on point, man. I appreciate that.
Oh, that's my guy right there. For sure, man. So before we get out of here, just ask you who would you like to nominate to be on the show next?
I gotta go with my brother G Shears, man.
Okay. We're definitely gonna do that. Yo, G, I'ma holler at you.
Either Gary Shears or Brent McCullum, a brother that played with us at Vanguard that went to August Martin.
Nice. Holler at Brent for me, man. I need to get some more Queens guys.
Okay.
That works.
Okay.
All right. Appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you for having me, man.
No doubt.
And I guess I'll see you when you're out repping sometime.
You know what I do? I coach, man, but listen, I'm always gonna be out here repping this basketball heads thing and what we do. So thank you, Joe. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Peace.
Appreciate you. Peace. All right, guys.